Look at that little thing. Good morning, everyone. It is it's absolutely surreal. It's apocalyptically surreal. The moon last night was like so bright orange. I mean, a deep, deep orange. Constance came home from her walk and she made me come out in the street to see the moon. And I've got a nightshirt like Fred Mertz of I Love Lucy. Um, and we went out in the across the street in the schoolyard. It was so weird. And then this morning on my walk, the sun was like blood red. And it's because of all the fires and stuff that were happening. Um, but we're in the middle of a heat wave, too. It was 118 degrees in Woodland Hills, which uh, it's not real close, but I mean, it's in the LA area. But anyway, I showed that little panticle. It's not very big, and it's on my page. Uh, but somebody made me a better one. Now that it's not better. That was homemade, but someone made me a beautiful, beautiful one out of brass. Now, I made this design in 1976, and shortly after my first degree initiation in the OTO. And this is the Magician's Disc, and that's the design that I settled on with the four Kabbalistic worlds and all of that stuff. And of course, the discs are a whole suit of tarot cards, and it's also the design that I use for absolutely all of the tarot cards of Tarot Ceremonial Magic's suit of discs. They've all got that. I like that one. And there we go, a tree of life with Malkuth constipation there. So, but anyway, thought you would enjoy that little thing this morning. So I hope everyone is well and are enjoying the long holiday weekend. It's just been insanely hot here, uh, but we're getting by. We're getting by. Now to the business at hand. Today's installment of Accidental Christ, the story of Jesus is told by his uncle. And today is the last very short chapter in the book Kingdom Come. Tomorrow we'll pick up with the next book, The Woman at the Well. Just a reminder, some of the names of the people that I'm talking about here and characters in the book. I give them the names that are sort of the Aramaic equivalent. If you don't recognize the character Lazar, just think of Lazarus. And if you don't recognize the character Joseph of Ramtha, it's Joseph of Arimathea. And there's several characters like that. If you'll do some digging, you'll find out that Jesus' uncle was indeed named Clopas or Clopiasus or something like that. So I tried hard to be as accurate in my fantasy as possible. It starts off with an epigram from St. John, 1938. After all these things, Joseph of Ramtha, who was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly because of fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus. And Pilate granted him permission. So he came and took away the body of Jesus. Chapter 6 begins with another flashback to the crucifixion scene. The sun had fallen, or it's a flash forward. The sun had fallen behind the hill. I am the owner of this property. The bodies must be down before sunset. The voice was that of Joseph of Ramtha. He spoke loudly and with such bold authority that the temple soldiers jumped to their feet. Surprised by the appearance of a member of the Sanhedrin, the mob at the top of the hill fell hushed and strained to hear what was happening below. The one in the middle is dead. His people will take care of the body, he shouted, indicating with an exaggerated sweep of his hand and the hastily quarried tomb about 200 paces from the left of the crosses. Roman law forbids burial of the crucified, protested the captain of the guard. But then he saw, standing behind Joseph, a centurion and a Roman soldier. Nevertheless, I carry Pilate's order that it be so. What about the other two? They're still alive, asked the captain, trying to resurrect some semblance of authority. These men are here to break their legs. It's nearly the 9th hour. If this carrion isn't down before the great Sabbath, I'll have them break your legs as well. Now we return to the narrative. The walk on water exceeded everyone's expectations. Word spread faster and farther than anyone could have predicted. By the time Jesus reached Gamala on the eastern shore of the sea, the crowds were filled with people who had traveled from as far away as Jerusalem and Damascus. So great was the response that Jesus decided to postpone taking the ministry south to Judea. Why travel to Judea if the Judeans travel to me? In Bethesda, Simon and Andrew introduced Jesus to James and John, the sons of Zebedee. Jesus could hardly believe his eyes. The two were both nearly as enormous as Simon. Jesus laughed and called them Boanerges. I'll spell that for you. Boanerges. Sons of thunder. The four became Jesus' bodyguards and the core of his Galilean disciples, which soon dwindled to a dozen. The Council of Seven was especially pleased to learn that the Sons of Thunder were part of the entourage. Their father's wealth was well known throughout Palestine. The enemies of the movement would mistakenly assume that it was Zebedee's riches that sustained the ministry and overlook the trail of gold leading to the real conspirators. After circling the Sea of Galilee, they traveled north. The masses received the good news of the coming kingdom more with curiosity than understanding. But the message was secondary to Jesus' presence as a miracle worker and healer. Elam of Japhthala delivered the magic loaves and fishes from the caves on his property near Tyre. It was the largest and most convincing of the miraculous mass feedings, the food appearing seemingly from nowhere. Even Simon and Andrew and the sons of thunder were deceived. Nevertheless, it was the last time Jesus would allow the deception to be perpetrated. The intense hysteria that accompanied Jesus' act of healing was unprecedented. Even Brother Apollonius admitted that he had never encountered anything like it. Sick people who had never laid eyes on Jesus found themselves healed after simply touching objects they believed he had touched. Provincial physicians and amateur magicians throughout the country began using his name to successfully heal and cast out evil spirits. When Jesus learned of this, he decided to dispatch his disciples in all directions to heal in his name. Even the unskilled Galileans experienced a remarkable level of success. However, there was danger in this practice, for the Pharisees were ever vigilant, and the simple minds of the northern disciples were no match for them when challenged on points of the law. As it turned out, however, the employment of these surrogate healers proved a stroke of genius. The reputation of the Galilean wonder workers was enhanced by every act done in his name. On any given day, miracles attributed to Jesus were said to occur simultaneously in 5 or 6 locations separated by 100 miles or more. The Pharisees and those who sought to entrap him were never sure where he would appear next, or even if the dozens of wonder workers was really Jesus. The Council of 7 could not believe their good fortune. Joseph of Ramtha's prophecy was fulfilled. In just 2 years, Jesus had become the most famous man in Roman Palestine. And that's the end of the book, Kingdom Come. Tomorrow we pick up book 4, Woman of the Well. So I hope you have a wonderful week. You in California, please stay cool, stay unburned, and hopefully we'll all see each other tomorrow. Continue to be good to yourself and good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.